All right, another game. I fully acknowledge this build might be cooking too hard, but we're gonna try and cook and see what happens. It's aggressive. So we have 2 cannons to poke at. Is that attached to the wall? And it's kind of attached to the wall. But I don't want to shoot around these trees. This is bad. We have 2 cannons to harass the Fireborn and Silver Helms and Dragon Princes, or Imric on a dragon or something. So we got that. I'll put the mortars because they can fire over the trees just fine. Or I could just do this. Anyway, yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So we have cannons to harass cavalry or large targets, mortars to harass his archers. Just a pile of state troops to keep us nice and safe. My brain was telling me I had more dudes than that. I mean, I have 7s. It's not poor, but we're just gonna redo it. I'll do a nice front line. I'll push him out, and then I'll count on my 2 Knights of the Black Rose and Demigryph Knights to keep these guys safe. So I'll keep 2 Spearmen in reserve with me, but it is mostly gonna be down to 2 Knights of Black Rose and the Raldorf Griffites to help out these cannons. I want to hide you, but it doesn't look like this forest is made for hiding. Do you guys even have hide in forest? Yeah, you do. The hell? None of this is a forest? Okay, whatever. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going with, instead of like 4 Empire Knights and I never get anything done with them, I'm gonna go with 2 Knights of the Black Rose because those guys are just insanely tanky. We do have a regrowth caster. I often don't take healing on the Empire because I take Boris Todbringer or Guilt, and I'm now gonna take Franz and Demigryphs, so we need some healing. Yeah. Yeah. I was just telling Black Knight this, but I often run into a problem where I run out of damage, so I'm trying not to be too tanky with not enough damage. 2 Knights of Black Rose is pretty tanky. I'll say that, but like Franz, Demigryphs, and 4 artillery pieces is a decent amount of damage. So I'm really hoping we can get some work going here. So we do have Dragon Princes, a lot of archers. Okay, here we go. So push up right away. I gotta keep those archers out of range of my artillery. Yeah, okay. I gotta keep the archers out of range of the artillery. It's on the Demigryph Knights and Knights of Black Rose to keep this back line safe at this point. You pop your Power Stone. I'm gonna have Franz challenge the Sea Lord for a little bit. Dragon Princes are currently behind some trees, but they won't be forever. Damn it, yeah, there's the Master of the Mists on those archers though, so they're already gonna take out one of my cannons. Damn. Okay. Is what it is. Pull up, actually. Yeah, don't land yet, don't land yet. I'm gonna try and get a fight with these Dragon Princes where I can pop the Reikland Runefang in their presence. Okay, Silverhelms are trying to be cheeky. I should be able to get a good charge on them here. My spearmen are now gonna go harass archers by just overwhelming them. Okay. I don't want to overextend too far from my regrowth caster. So I'm gonna try and back off here. Okay, I'm gonna have Franz dive in on the Fireborn with the Raldorf Griffites and a premeditated regrowth. Knights of the Black Rose are just gonna hold the line. Love isn't always on time. And he had 4 cavalry, I had 3, so one of them is gonna slip through and get onto my last great cannons. That's bad, but it is what it is. We got a cannon back. The Griffites are doing okay against the Fireborn, but they're not doing great, which is pretty bad. And the artillery is just getting shut down pretty aggressively.
I will not stand idle.
Yeah, even with the Reikland Runefang, we're losing this fight, which is pretty bad. And my Knights of Black Rose are losing to Dragon Princes. These ones are chasing off Silverhelms, but... Oh, and the Dragon Princes didn't even actually rout. That's probably GG. Damn. Yeah, because artillery's all offline already. His infantry beat my infantry. His cavalry beat my cavalry. So literally everything he had beat everything I had, like just one-on-one. Fuck. Yeah, that's GG. Damn. I mean, I guess it's just a bad build. I did admit at the start that I could have been cooking too hard, but the Master of the Mist just made his archers outrange my artillery and kill them pretty instantly. I guess that's what would be down. I'm just disappointed that like literally everything lost. Like Knights of the Black Rose lost to Dragon Princes, and even Silverhelms they didn't do that well against. Like they were chasing him all game and just didn't do much damage. My state troops lost to his ship's company. 7 lost to 4, which is pretty bad. Fireborn kicked the shit out of my Griffites. So yeah, unfortunately, like it was just high elf difference. And before the high elf apologists come into the chat, hear me out before you start typing in the comments. It's just that high elves have way higher stats than most other factions, as long as their health is 50%, and the Empire is like more of a jack of all trades, so they have options that the high elves don't. So then unfortunately just ending up with very similar builds, except artillery versus archers. But like heavy cav versus heavy cav, high elves are going to win that. They have better stats and better heavy cav. Infantry versus infantry, high elves are going to win that. They have better infantry. So yeah, we didn't get to really leverage our differences because his archers beat my artillery, and then after that it was just a stat diff. So fuck. Rip. Rough game. All right, we got cooked. Still trying to figure out Empire right now. It's going a little tough. Empire is not good. They're bad faction. No, just trying to learn how to play them. I've never been a war wagon gamer, and without war wagons, the faction's a little more complicated on where to get your damage from. But I like the Empire. I like them aesthetically. I like their general play style. I like a lot of their units, so I just kind of want to learn them again, you know? But it's a different world than when I actually used to play Empire. The factions I play kind of rotate around a lot. Like, I used to be a Vampire Coast, Skaven, and Empire main. Just guns, guns, guns. And then those metas kind of came and went, and in Warhammer 3, I've never really been good with Empire, so we're going to try and figure it out. Against Greenskins. So this isn't supposed to be a troll build. It might end up being troll, and I'll go, whoops, my bad. But there's an idea behind it. I'm trying to draft a winning front line versus the Greenskins. That can be hard, but they can also... The Greenskins can also sometimes get a little overconfident about winning the front line because they'll expect the Empire to just go cheap-ass state troops and not really contest them at all. So a front line of Unbreakable, Frenzied Flagellants could be a little spicy, a little fun. Do also have some swordsmen, so we're just insanely deep with infantry. So that should be fun. But besides being insanely deep with infantry, we also are taking a page out of Blood Penguin's book, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try the Nuln Ironsides. I'm still not sold. I'm still very scared this unit is gonna be trash, ass backwards garbage, but we'll give it a try. We'll give it a try. Yeah, I'm gonna throw guard mode on them so they don't wander off into Nowheresville. Then I also have 3 handgunners that'll deploy more towards the middle. So if he has a bunch of greenskin pig cav, I'm gonna hope that those guys are just pretty bad against infantry in general. They're not great against infantry. And then also having a whole bunch of handguns should help me out. And then for the Lord, I was gonna take Toddy and some cavalry to like fear shock the greenskins out, but I always do that. And also Toddy, even as like cheap as you can go, is still like 2,100 with the kit I wanted to bring him with. So we're gonna go Foot Gelt with just Staff of Valens, Arcing Conduit, and Final Transmutation. Going for an crazy cheap Final Trans Lord Snipecaster. I anticipate the greenskins will probably go with that Night Goblin Big Boss guy, and the Night Goblin Big Boss with his incredibly low HP pool is very weak to Final Transmutation, so I think I'm gonna get a fast one on old Black Knight here. Alright, my other control group's just gonna be all of this, because I just want them all to move at the same time. Alright, what do we got? Greenskin Archers, Orc Boarboy Biggins, Orc Shaman. I don't see his Lord, so it might be a Foot Night Goblin War Boss, in which case he's stealthed. Orc Boarboys, yeah, they're not going to have a lot of good targets. He's going to have a bad time. And there it is, the overconfidence. Just taking goblins because you're like, surely I'll just beat the piss out of those state troops. Nah. Great swords and flagellants can beat your goblins. Alright, I don't want Gelt to overextend in case that Rampage caster is around, like we mentioned, and then, you know, rampages happen. There he is. Okay, so let's shoot at the Orc Shaman for a little bit. Null and Ironside's gonna turn to the, well, sides. And I have my handgunners continue to focus up front. Not gonna shift away with them. And let's start taxing that guy's HP. Null and Ironside's doing their jobs. I have Spearmen and Swordsmen just around. Be annoying. Yeah, we're crushing this front line. Flagellants are doing great so far. I'm gonna send some additional Swordsmen up front because those great swords are getting a little concerningly low for my taste. But yeah, the Null and Ironsides are doing really well. Like, these Orc Boar Boys are just looping around looking for a way in. They're just getting shot. Alright. He's gonna try and rampage me. I need to back off. But I got my final trans down, which is all I really wanted. Getting some decent shots in. Great swords are flooding his back line. Yeah, there's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do against the tide of men. Oop, there are those boar boys I was looking for.
Yes, General. For the Emperor!
Okay, this is where it starts to get a little gross, a little not so good. Is the back lines are compromised?
Swordsmen! Great swords!
Great swords need to get on those Orc R boys. Flagellants can go fight those ones for a little bit. We're trying to hold. We're trying to hold, Captain. There might be too many greenskins. There just might be too many. No, there's not. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're chilling. Just get another final trans out. It'll be fine.
Spearmen! Empire marksmen! Balthazar Gelt!
Black powder blessed.
Yes, General!
Black powder blessed. Guns, faith, and steel. Why did you guys lose your attack orders? Go.
Fallen staff! Moving faster!
Excuse me, giant scary trolls. I have a date
Quick march!
with that asshole.
Feel my ire. Handgunners! For the twin-tailed comet! We are
For the twin-tailed comet.
go! Lord of metal! Go!
Don't want to select the ground. I want to select him specifically so we can't outrun.
They'll never move again. Handgunners! Quick
All right, Black Knight is starting to come back a little bit.
Powder dry! The Empire endures! Signal!
There we go. Nice, juicy final trans.
Handgunners! Shoot them!
There we go. His lord is dead. His lord is dead.
Powder dry!
We got him.
Weapons are yours! For Heldenhammer! We serve the Emperor! To battle!
Yes. Their leadership falters.
Round!
You, rally. Come on. Rally. I need you to shoot at these trolls because I can't keep up with them. Please. There you go. Shoot them.
Let's go.
Orc Shaman's kind of kicking my ass, though.
Ready.
But he's routing.
Take the ground.
Oh, he's routing.
Powder dry.
Oh my god, we did it! We won a game as the Empire!
Ulrich.
Ah, it's finally happening! And we did it without any large units at all. Just infantry. Just a shitload of infantry. And the Nulled Ironsides, they did okay. Handgunners did well. Man, the Greatswords and Flagellants slapped those goblins. That was hilarious. They just, as soon as the front line collided, it felt like they were through. Holy shit. Night Goblin War Boss, I mean, he just got double final trans. He had a pretty bad time. Orc Boar Boys didn't have much they could do. They tried to shut down my handgunners, I guess. Yeah, it was a toughie. A bit of a wild build that he clearly wasn't ready for, so I'll call it a cheese. I cheesed a win. I'm a cheeser. Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.